JF and True Followers in the YWC, JC Styles.
Brian Fraser.
And we are here with our TNA Impact Wrestling review for 6/30/2011.
That is correct.
We pretty much started off the night with Hogan in the back, basically lighting a fire under Steiner's ass, saying "Welcome to Fortune." Welcome to Immortal. Then we see Sting playing head games with Hogan on the television.
Yeah. The show did start off with a promo package about Sting. It did move into the segment you just mentioned, and then we saw Hogan walking through, and there's a big television monitor, and you see Sting on it. Sting's facing backwards, and he is just, saying everything he needs to say to get into Hogan's head. He's trying to say Hogan needs to cut the cancer out. He needs to not be Hollywood Hogan anymore.
Yes.
He needs to be Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania, this, that, and the other. Then we move into Hogan going down to the ring. He calls out the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Anderson. And right as Anderson comes out, we see Sting's music hits, and Sting attacks. Well, actually, excuse me, right before that, Sting attacked Abyss backstage.
Yes. Actually, no, he attacked all of Immortal. He attacked Steiner. You see him. No, wait. Steiner was already down. Then you seen him attacking Abyss, and then basically Bully Ray went after Sting with the steel chair and got met with the baseball bat across the chair, across his face. And I was like, oh. And you hear Sting just yell, "It's a home run, folks." And I really don't like Sting, and of recent, I've stated that in previous videos. But the current thing that they're doing with Sting, making him freakishly crazy, is basically, he's got the face paint for it, so they're just making him kind of look like the Joker from The Dark Knight, just crazy as all can be and crazy looking. And we even seen a couple of fans with their face painted up like the Joker from The Dark Knight tonight. Yeah,
we sure did. And the whole thing behind Sting is, if you guys don't know, in his personal life, he became a born-again Christian. And I think it's almost kind of like a religious motivation that he has to churn Hogan.
Yes.
And, it's got very religious overtones to all of his messages, and he needs to churn Hogan back to the good side. And, everything that's happened to Sting, with the way he lost the title and everything else, he's completely snapped. And I like this new Sting. I've always been a fan of Sting for all these years, going back to, early days in WCW, the old footage of the Universal Wrestling Federation I've been fortunate enough to see. I mean, Sting is an amazing competitor. And then we, to keep the show going, Sting's music hits, the arena goes dark.
No, we missed Mr. Anderson.
I said Anderson. I said Hogan called out Anderson, but then we skip back to the thing about Abyss. But I apologize.
Pretty much the thing with Anderson coming out, he basically says, "Hey, assholes take it any way they can get it," and then assholes also take credit for it. And that's exactly what I did. I'm arrogant. And then he says, "What are you gonna slap?" Hogan goes, "I'm gonna slap the arrogance out of you in 2 weeks." He goes, "Well, I got enough cockiness to give away for free. I'm the cock of the walk." And it just goes back and forth between Hogan and Anderson. Basically speaks why he's an asshole, and then the Sting came out.
Yeah, then the music hits, excuse me, and we see Sting come out. Well, it was dark. Sting attacks Hogan from behind.
Yes.
Anderson splits. He goes right up the ramp. He wants no part of him. And this is where we go into Sting attacking Hogan. Basically grabs some vitamins. He's got him in the corner. He's trying to shove him down his throat. Kind of like a homage back to
It was like a huge. It was kind of like a huge container.
Like a protein whey container. Yeah.
Like a whey protein container, or muscle max or whatever. And basically all they really did was he basically emptied out all the powder, and I'm pretty sure they weren't actually eating vitamins. It was probably like Good and Plenty, the white Good and Plenty, or the Mike and Ike's, or some kind of chewable candy.
And our fans feel like we need to go into this detail.
But I mean, for those of you who, whatever you guys have, but it's just a funny thing. They're sitting there, and he's like, "Does anyone got some water? We need to take our vitamins." And the cameraman just hands the guy a bottle of water. So basically, in the camera, all you see is like a hand handed over a bottle of water.
A non-labeled bottle of water.
Yeah.
I guess we weren't trying to give any product endorsements tonight, except for 5 Hour Energy, who did bring us a limited commercial night of Impact. It was 50 minutes until we went into the first commercial, which was quite excellent. So that, we see Sting come out to the ring. He's saying he's trying to rid Hogan of the cancer. He wants him to become the Hulkamania Hulk Hogan again. Eat your vitamins. That's where the whole vitamin shoving down his throat segment came from. Sting announces that we're going to have a Midsummer Nightmare edition of Impact. I guess that's going to be the show after Destination X, which is, I guess, going to be kind of similar to the whole effing show they did last year after Hardcore Justice.
Exactly.
Because Destination X is going to be a theme pay-per-view like Hardcore Justice was, and then they'll have a normal, quote-unquote, normal event which will highlight all the other stars. We see Bully Ray, Gunner, Steiner, and Abyss come down and make the save.
Yeah, we hear them, we hear Sting, basically we hear them talking about, Bully Ray goes, we don't like bullies, and, we don't like people, pushing other people around. Retard, your name is Bully Ray. I mean, you spent the last, 2 or 3 months just beating up on anyone you can, so
and building the whole thing that you are, in fact, a bully.
Yeah, so let's throw TNA a bully anti-bully campaign, and then have Bully Ray be the spokesperson.
And keep the name Bully Ray too.
Yeah,
that would be simply hilarious. All right, and we find out that Bully Ray actually makes a match. When did Bully Ray get so much stroke?
Yeah,
he makes the match Steiner versus Sting later in the night.
Yeah,
Steiner looks at him like
Bully Ray basically hypes him up. Bully Ray pipes it up like, we've never crossed paths, and I'm making a match tonight. It's gonna be Sting versus, and then he's like, Scott Steiner, and then he kind of all nonchalantly just passes the torch to Scotty Steiner.
Oh yeah, he's having him flex his muscles.
Yeah.
Don't feel it. I'm trying to hype them all up. All right, so then we go into our next contest of the night, which we see Devon go against Samoa Joe.
This is, like I was telling Brian earlier, I think this match was definitely good. I mean, I didn't really have any qualms about the winner or loser. I think it was a fantastic match. I like Devon, and I like Samoa. Everyone knows that I like Samoa Joe. The match, the bell rings, and we see a good lockup into an arm bar, and then right out of the arm bar, we see Samoa Joe automatically go for the rear naked choke, and Devon gets to the ropes, and it was just something with Joe. I think Taz said it best. I think Joe is trying to go for the win so quickly because he's kind of PO'd because he doesn't have any points.
Yeah, and not just that too. He also wanted to get the win by submission because when you get a pinfall win, it's only 7 points in the Bound for Glory series. When you get a submission win, it's 10 points in the Bound for Glory series. And with that submission win, that would have put him up a little bit higher on the leaderboard.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it just didn't go his way tonight.
No, it did not. I'm not gonna lie. We saw some. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. We saw some good wrestling in that match.
Oh, we did.
We seen Joe go to the top rope. Not go to the top rope, but try to do some good Impact moves. We seen him do the face wash in the corner. We seen him go for the Devon straight kicked him in the face when a standing vertical boot. It was just a really fantastic match, and you can't really pick anything wrong out of this match, except for the thing is that Joe has been on a losing streak in the last couple of weeks, and I kind of would have liked to have seen him get on the board in this Bound for Glory series.
Oh, I would, and I hope that the momentum starts to pick up in future weeks. But, like they got to do in any promotion, you have some stars that are going to be at the top for a little while, and then you rotate them out for other stars, and that's how you keep it fresh, that's how you keep people interested in the product, that's how you keep one guy from being too overworked, always being in the limelight, does get to some people.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Joe has really been in the mid-card lately. I mean, we haven't really seen much of Joe winning.
That whole feud with the Pope
was a squash. It was just to give him something to do while AJ and everyone else was doing something. And then you start to see him feud with Bully Ray, and that died down after only a couple of weeks, a week. And then it just then we just see Joe being de-ranked. And
I think now that Destination X is coming up, this is where we're going to start to see Joe be built a little bit more. It'll create a little more interest in his character from some of the newer fans that don't know Joe, like, you know, what we've gotten to see out of Samoa Joe. And
speaking of Destination X, I still don't understand why they're going to book Kaz and Joe when 95% of the TNA fan base that has been watching TNA since the very beginning, since day one, want to see Samoa Joe, AJ Daniels.
Oh, a rematch of Unbreakable 2005. I agree that would be a phenomenal contest, but I think Kaz Joe is also going to be good. It's going to give a nice chance for both these guys.
It is, definitely it is, but I would think that, you know, yes, Jerry Lynn's the pioneer of the X Division, but I also, though, like, still a case in point. I mean, yeah, Joe and Kaz are going to be a fantastic match, but the thing is, though, the guys helped build the Jerry Lynn pioneered it. Joe Daniels and AJ perfected it.
I mean, you've got to really give credit. I mean,
in TNA, it was perfected by Joe Daniels.
Yeah, it was perfected, but I mean, the whole style is based off the Cruiserweight style, which the Cruiserweight style is based off the Lucha Libre.
Yeah.
And I mean, you really got to pay homage to Mexico and Japan.
Yeah, I mean, you got a big pay-per-view that's going to showcase X Division. Why not throw the 3 top contenders in the X Division in the main event?
I think these are going to be some interesting matches, though. I really do. And let's keep this show moving. Yes. I mean, we've covered... It was such a long show. I got 3 pages of notes, and we're only halfway through. That doesn't mean turn off this video. We're going to get it moving. We see Joe backstage. Kaz is saying, "Hey, what's going on with you, man?" Basically, where's that Samoa Joe? Samoa Joe basically retorts and goes back to him and says, "You know what, you fortune bitches, and you know you're gonna get a piece of it."
Yeah, he's like F you, and then you hear Kaz F me, you know, and he's like, "Yeah, pretty boy, F you, you know, all." He's like, "You're gonna bitch out like your buddy AJ. You fortune guys are a bunch of bitches." And I'm like, did he really just say that? And I'm like, but you know, the thing is Joe's heated because it went. They all 3 of them were in the ring last week, and it went from leading into Joe Daniels, AJ, just to AJ Daniels. And I think that's what really Joe is really aggravated about, is because he was expecting to be AJ Joe, and then Daniels came out, and then Joe was expecting it to be Joe Daniels AJ, and it's just AJ Daniels. Like I said a couple minutes ago, I would rather see Joe Daniels AJ one last time, especially when it's the X Division showcase.
I would like to see it as well, but unfortunately, that's not how it was booked. So hopefully, we can just enjoy what they put in front of us. Then we move into the next match. We see Jimmy Yang versus Low-Ki, the returning Low-Ki, also known as Senshi. He wrestled in WWE as Cabral, for you guys that do not know. He went against, they also went against Matt Bentley in a 3-way contest. The couple of moves that I really saw that I think really made the match was Jimmy Yang hit a huge flying crossbody over the top rope. Then we see Bentley hit a huge cutter DDT combo, which was quite impressive. And then Yang goes for the Yang time, misses. Low-Ki wins after a huge double foot stomp, which really didn't look like that was the way he was trying to pull it off.
Yeah, the whole Elvis thing, I don't know what was up with that. I really think the biggest news out of that match was I mean, I really didn't care for Jimmy Yang when he was in TNA. More than Matt Bentley and Low-Ki, I was actually really psyched to see back. Low-Ki even more because, you know, he was another one of the guys who got me into watching the X Division. This guy can go, and I really wish WWE did bigger things with him, but unfortunately, you know, if he was part of the WWE now, he wouldn't be back in TNA for X Division, for the Destination X, I'm sorry. And, you know, I really want, hopefully they do really big things with all these guys that are coming back in these matches. Yeah,
well, I think the whole way it's being billed is unfortunately only one guy that out of all these qualifying matches is going to in fact be quote-unquote retained. I mean, I could probably see some of these other guys being worked in future weeks, but the whole thing is they're working for a contract.
Is that what the Ultimate X is going to be at Destination X?
I believe so.
I think that's going to be kind of, I mean, all these guys are going to fight for a contract in an Ultimate X match. I think Ultimate X match would just be a lot better.
There's going to be a lot of fire under these guys. You know, obviously it's all storyline guys, but if
TNA already knows who they want back.
Yeah, but and they already know who they're going to get the best deal with, who's going to get the most exposure, who's going to pull, most views.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. They suit a certain demographic, and that's where you gain revenue from. I mean, you have to run it. It is a business. Whatever you want to do, personal feelings aside, it's a business, and it has to be run that way. Then we move into the next segment of the night. We see a backstage promo with Madison Rayne. She's arguing with Winter and Tara before their match. They're supposed to all team up. Winter and Tara, Winter and Angelina Love. They're supposed to all team up in a big 3-on-3 knockouts tag team match elimination. And they're arguing over frickin' lip gloss or some shit. And I wasn't even really focusing at that point. But then it cuts to Angelina saying her relationship with Winter is no longer synthetic due to the flavored candies that she was slipping her. And Winter actually appreciates her. I think Velvet appreciated her too, crazy bitch. But moving on, we go to our first commercial break at 15 minutes. So 15 minutes in of solid show. I mean, this was almost pay-per-view style tonight. Then we move into the match. I mean, we see Mickie James, Tara, and Bunswood Azir herself, Miss Tessmacher, go against Angelina Love, Winter, and Madison Rayne. And then, like I said, that big 6-person elimination tag. We see right off the bat, Mickie is going against Winter. She tries to grab off her belt and try to whip her with it. The ref breaks that up real quick. Doesn't even let her get one strike. I was hoping for this one. I'm not a big Winter fan. I was never a fan of her as Katie Lee Burchill in the WWE.
No,
and I think she's just a crazy, excuse my language, guys, crazy bitch. I mean, I don't know. But, I got the rest of the rundown. Is there anything you want to say before I run down the rest of this match?
No.
Really?
Didn't really care for the women's match tonight.
I thought it was pretty decent.
It was decent, but, I really, as of late, the Knockouts division hasn't been what it was. To be honest, I rather have seen Velvet and ODB, because at least there would have been some fire in the match.
There would have been some fire, but I mean, we saw some really good moves. So I'm going to run through what happened, and then we'll move on to the next segment of the night. We see Winter pins Buns, then Madison pins Tara. She stole the pin from Winter after Angelina hit a big Botox injection kick. Then we see Mickie pin Madison. Then Winter wants to pin Mickie, and Angelina and her kind of trade some words over this, because Angelina was the one that had her down with a big,
I don't know. I didn't really see it.
It was a neck breaker over her knee or something. I can't exactly remember.
Probably a friggin' rip off of the back cracker. It was Carlito.
Yeah, it was basically something like that. Well, these moves have been used time and time out. Wrestling's been around for 100 years. There's been multiple federations. Just because two superstars use the same move, we don't gotta say it's a cheap version or something. I mean, she did a nice job with the delivery of it. It was beautifully executed. Moving on, we see Mickie pin Angelina after a neck breaker, and then Mickie pins Winter after a DDT. Then we move into a promo, Kendrick versus Abyss at Destination X.
Actually, no. We missed the bar fight between Kaz and Samoa Joe after the Knockouts match.
It was before the Knockouts match, actually.
I think it was after.
Yeah, actually, it was before the Knockouts match. We did go right past it, though.
Basically, we see a fan-made video. Okay, first off, a fan-made video, if someone recorded it, I doubt that it would be HD quality. Okay? So, it was actually one of TNA's camera crew following Samoa Joe into the bar.
You'd be surprised with some of the new HTCs compared to the iPhone 4G. Those,
in dark settings, a lot of cameras don't really do. I mean, I have a BlackBerry and it's a 10-point megapixel, and in dark settings it comes out really crummy.
You'd be surprised. A buddy of mine just got the new HTC. I think it's the Evo 4G 3D, and I mean, this phone actually takes 3D pictures. It's pretty damn impressive. I've got a standard phone that I've had for years.
But we all know it was really a camera crew following Samoa Joe.
More than likely, yes, but I'm not.
But
it could have
besides
happened.
the point,
I mean, the new technology out could have actually made it possible at this point.
Beyond that, we see Samoa Joe basically walk into the bar, crack Kaz in the face with a beer bottle, then throw him against the bar a couple of times, put him through a poorly done plastic folding table. Okay, first off, if you go into a bar, the bar tables are not plastic. They're all solid oak wood, first off. And second of all, I mean, he hit basically, you get cracked across the bottle, you're going to face with a bottle. You're going to become unconscious.
Another thing for the fans to comment on. You get some nice bars that will have some solid oak wood tables, but I'm sure a couple of you guys out there have been in a couple dives that did not have the nicest of furniture. Please comment. I know of one right here locally in town that's I don't think they're no longer in existence, though.
Then we see Samoa Joe break a pool cue over a pool stick. I'm sorry, or cue, I think it is what they call them, over Kaz's body, and then basically we see Joe walk out. He comes in, beats him up, and says, screams, "This is my world," and then it cuts to a commercial.
Yeah, pretty much it. And then we move into, like I said, the Kendrick Abyss promo for Destination X.